The Galactic Empire ruled most of the known stars. Its fleets were large, its weapons were powerful. When the Empire spoke, planets listened. For centuries, no world had ever refused its command. Earth was small compared to the Empire. It had fewer ships, weaker weapons, and no allies. The Empire believed Earth would surrender quickly. So the warning was sent. The message was cold and simple. This is the Galactic Empire. Lower your defenses. Accept our rule, or face complete destruction. The Empire waited. Usually fear followed within minutes. Messages of surrender, calls for mercy, begging voices. But Earth sent nothing. Hours passed. Then days. Imperial scouts watched Earth closely. They expected to see panic. Instead, they saw calm. Human cities continued to glow at night. Satellites stayed in their normal orbits. There were no mass fleet movements. This confused the Empire. Admiral Korth, commander of the invasion fleet, studied the reports. Earth was doing nothing. That makes no sense, he said. No world ignores us. The Empire sent the warning again. Stronger this time. This is your final notice. Still, Earth remained silent. Some officers suggested Earth was too afraid to respond. Others believed humans were planning a desperate defense. Then, on the 7th day, something unexpected happened. A signal came from Earth. It was not a military code. It was not sent through official channels. It was an open broadcast. The Empire prepared to receive Earth's surrender. But the message was wrong. There was no anthem. No formal greeting. No leader speaking. Only a single human voice. Calm, casual. The voice said, "You want war. We understand. We are sending volunteers." The transmission ended. The command room went silent. Admiral Korth stared at the screen. "Volunteers?" he asked. "For what?" Imperial analysts searched the signal. It carried no threat, no conditions. Just coordinates. Deep space coordinates. Long-range sensors focused on Earth. That was when they saw it. Small ships were leaving the planet. Not fleets, not formations. Single vessels. Old designs, modified hulls, no Empire markings. No shared flight pattern. Each ship flew alone. "This must be a mistake," an officer said. "Those are not warships." The scanners zoomed in. Each vessel carried only one life sign. One human per ship. The Empire began to laugh. "Is this a joke?" an officer said. "Earth sends single pilots against an empire?" Admiral Korth ordered a full scan. Data began flooding the screens. Human profiles, medical records, psychological reports. The laughter stopped. The files were disturbing. No fear indicators, high aggression markers, history of violence. Some humans were former soldiers. Others were criminals. Some had no clear past at all. Imperial AI systems struggled to classify them. Finally, one word appeared on the main screen: psychopath. Admiral Korth felt a chill. "These are not soldiers," he said. "They are unstable." The Empire realized something else. These humans were not being commanded. They were not following orders. They had chosen to come. Another message arrived from Earth. Short, clear. "We did not send our best. We sent the ones who do not stop." The human ships entered Empire space. No formation, no communication between them. Just silence. Admiral Korth gave the order to destroy them. But before the weapons fired, one human ship transmitted a final message. A laugh echoed through the command room. Then the voice said, "You should have taken the warning." And the first human ship vanished from the scanners. Not destroyed, gone. The Empire had never seen anything like it. And deep inside the command room, for the first time in his life, Admiral Korth understood one terrible truth. This war would not be normal. The Imperial fleet was ready. Hundreds of warships floated in perfect formation near the border of Empire space. Their weapons were charged. Their shields were strong. The human ships were small dots on the screen. Too small. Admiral Korth raised his hand. "Target the first human vessel," he ordered. "Destroy it. Let Earth understand its mistake." Imperial cannons fired. Blue energy filled space. The human ship did not try to escape. It flew straight into the fire. The Empire watched, waiting for an explosion. None came. The ship vanished. Not broken. Not destroyed. Gone. Silence filled the command room. "Scan again," Korth said slowly. Sensors searched the area. Nothing. The human ship was no longer there. Before anyone could speak, alarms began screaming. Another human ship appeared behind the Imperial line. Then another. Then 3 more. They were not using normal travel paths. They appeared inside protected space. "How are they doing this?" an officer shouted. No one answered. One human ship opened a channel. The screen showed a human face. The human was smiling. "Hey," the human said casually. "You missed." The signal cut. A moment later, an Imperial cruiser lost power. Its shields dropped. Its weapons went dark. The human ship crashed into it. Not to destroy it, to enter it. Imperial soldiers rushed through the cruiser's halls. They prepared to fight boarding enemies, but there was only one human. Just one. Security cameras showed the human walking calmly, unarmed. Then the lights went out. Screams echoed through the ship. The feed cut to black. The cruiser drifted silent. Another human ship targeted a supply vessel. Instead of attacking, it docked. Minutes later, the supply ship exploded from the inside. No distress call was sent. Fear spread through the Imperial fleet. "This is chaos," an officer whispered. "They are not fighting like soldiers." Admiral Korth clenched his fists. "Focus fire," he ordered. "Destroy them one by one." But the humans did not stay still. They hid inside asteroid fields. They used wreckage as cover. They moved too close for large weapons to track. One human flew directly at a battleship's main gun. At the last second, the human ejected. The empty ship continued forward. It exploded against the gun barrel. The battleship's main weapon was gone. The human floated in space, laughing. Imperial soldiers captured him. They dragged him into a holding cell. The human was injured, bleeding, yet he was smiling. An officer tried to question him. "Why are you doing this?" the officer demanded. The human looked up. "Because you came to our home," he said. "And because no one will miss me." The human triggered something hidden under his skin. The explosion destroyed half the ship. The Empire began retreating. This had never happened before. Imperial war doctrine failed. Formations meant nothing. Numbers meant nothing. Each human was a war by themselves. Reports flooded in. Outposts destroyed without warning. Communication towers silenced. Patrol ships missing. The humans did not claim victories. They did not send threats. They left messages. Written in blood. Carved into metal. Simple words. "Still coming." Another transmission arrived from Earth. This one was official. A human leader appeared. Calm, serious. "We warned you," the leader said. "They are not under command." The Galactic Council demanded Earth recall the humans. Earth replied with one sentence. "They cannot be recalled." Admiral Korth stared at the stars. These were not warriors trained for honor. These were not heroes. These were humans who had nothing left, and the Empire had given them a target. As another Imperial ship went dark, Korth understood something too late. The Empire had not started a war. It had opened a door, and something terrible had walked through. The Empire was in shock. Fleets that once ruled entire sectors now moved like frightened animals. Ships scattered across space. Admirals argued in panic. Orders were ignored. The humans were everywhere and nowhere. One moment, a cruiser would report a human attacking from the front. The next, another human would appear behind their strongest battleship. No formation, no pattern, no warning. Only chaos. Admiral Korth paced his command room. Every report made his hands tremble. He had expected war. He had expected strategy, tactics, a battle the Empire could control. This was neither. "Sir, sensors show another human fleet entering from the asteroid belt," an officer said. "Sir, The transmission cut off. Static filled the screen. Moments later, one human ship appeared inside the fleet. It hovered in front of a destroyer. Then, without warning, it fired nothing. No lasers, no missiles. Instead, it opened a small hatch. A cloud of mechanical drones poured out. They attached themselves to the destroyer. Hull plates peeled. Engines exploded. The ship went silent. Imperial soldiers stared at the monitors. No one moved. No one spoke. The fleet commander swallowed hard. They're using our own technology," he whispered. Every fleet movement became a trap. Every attack was anticipated or ignored. Humans never followed rules. They did not retreat. They did not surrender. They existed between the lines. Between the rules of war, between fear and madness, one human alone appeared on a patrol ship. Imperial cameras showed him laughing as he rewired the ship's engines. Minutes later, the patrol ship turned on its own fleet. Lasers tore through shields. Ships collided. Explosions lit the darkness of space. Admiral Korth slammed his fist on the table. "They are not soldiers," he shouted. "They are predators." Imperial fleets tried to regroup. They created defensive lines, prepared ambushes, calculated probabilities. Nothing worked. Humans did not fight together. They did not follow orders. They did not obey strategy. Yet somehow every attack, every strike, every chaos-filled move achieved maximum damage. Imperial officers began to doubt themselves. Some refused to give commands. Some sabotaged their own weapons to avoid confrontation. A report arrived from a supply sector. All ship destroyed. No survivors. No debris. Just gone. Admiral Korth stared at the screen. "Gone?" he asked. "Yes, sir," the officer replied. The humans vanished again. No one could explain it. The Empire's best scanners could not predict human movement. They could not anticipate attacks. Even AI failed to calculate human behavior. Another human ship entered an Empire station. This one carried no drones, no weapons, just a single human with a hammer. He destroyed the command core by hand. Minutes later, the entire station collapsed. The explosion could be seen from orbit. The Empire could not fight back. Their soldiers were terrified. Their fleets confused. Their weapons ineffective. Admiral Korth called a council meeting. Every voice in the room was full of fear. "They do not follow any law," one counselor said. "They do not respect life," said another. "They are not human," whispered a young officer. Korth shook his head. "They are human," he said slowly. "But not the humans we know. Earth did not send warriors. Earth sent something else. Something dangerous. Something uncontrollable." A small commotion erupted outside the command room. Reports flooded in. Another fleet gone, another ship turned on its own allies. Another human vanished into space. The Empire had learned a horrifying truth. There was no front line. There was no battlefield. There was no predictable war. Humans fought differently. They did not need fleets. They did not need orders. They were every strike, every sabotage, every chaos all at once. And Earth was silent. Admiral Korth looked at the stars. The humans were out there, somewhere, watching, waiting, and the Empire began to understand. This was not a war the Empire could win. This was survival against something it had never faced before. Madness made perfect. The Empire thought it was strong. It had fleets bigger than some star systems. It had warships, shields, lasers, and fleets of soldiers trained for decades. It was wrong. Humans were not predictable. They were not rational. They were unstoppable. Reports flooded Admiral Korth's command room. Outposts destroyed, ships gone, communication lost, entire fleets disabled from the inside. One human had infiltrated a supply station, not with weapons but with tools, wires, hammers, and explosives. The station self-destructed. No one knew exactly how. The Empire had trained soldiers for decades. All of them had failed. Another report arrived. A human ship rammed an Imperial cruiser. It did not explode. It simply attached itself. Then doors opened. Soldiers disappeared. The cruiser went silent, drifting in space. Admiral Korth felt his stomach tighten. "This is impossible," he muttered. "How can one person destroy a ship designed for hundreds?" Imperial officers whispered among themselves. Fear grew like a shadow in the room. Some began refusing orders. Some destroyed weapons just to avoid confronting humans. The humans did not attack in fleets. They did not follow battle plans. They were chaos. They were everywhere and nowhere. Every strike was precise, every move unpredictable. One human infiltrated a research facility. Imperial scientists tried to stop him. He walked past security scanners. He removed the main power core with his bare hands. He laughed. The entire research station collapsed, taking years of experiments with it. Another human appeared inside a communication tower. Within minutes, every signal in the sector was jammed. The Empire's soldiers could not call for help. They could not coordinate. They were blind. Admiral Korth slammed his fist on the table. "They are not humans," he shouted. "They are monsters." But the council reminded him, "They are humans. From Earth." Korth shook his head. "No, Earth did not send soldiers. They sent something worse, something we cannot stop." The Imperial Council panicked. They sent massive fleets to capture humans. They created traps. They built defense lines. They planned ambushes. None worked. Humans never followed patterns. They did not attack the same way twice. They disappeared into asteroid belts, black holes, even the wreckage of destroyed ships. And then they struck again. One human alone disabled a whole fleet's defense grid. Imperial officers called for reinforcements. The reinforcements never arrived. They were destroyed before they reached the battle. Fear spread like wildfire through the Empire. Soldiers refused orders. Ships turned on each other. Communication channels were filled with panic. Even Admiral Korth began to doubt himself. Could the Empire survive this? Could it even fight back? A strange transmission arrived from Earth. This time it was official. A human leader appeared on the screen. Calm, silent, serious. "We warned you," the human said. "They cannot be controlled. They cannot be stopped. And we do not want them stopped." The Empire demanded a recall. The humans were supposed to obey. But Earth replied with one sentence. "They cannot be recalled." That one sentence broke the Empire more than any human attack. It meant Earth did not care. Earth had released its weapons, and it would not take them back. Admiral Korth stared at the stars. Every human was a weapon. Every human was a chaos machine. Every human acted alone. The Empire had planned war, but it had unleashed terror. Imperial fleets tried to regroup. Ships drifted in space, unmanned or destroyed from within. Commanders whispered in terror. Soldiers hid, refusing to leave their stations. Reports arrived faster than Korth could read them. A station self-destructed. A fleet turned on itself. Thousands of soldiers vanished. Imperial AI could not track a single human. The Empire had no choice. It was losing control. It was losing power. It was losing sanity. Humans were everywhere and nowhere. Unstoppable. Unpredictable. Perfect. Admiral Korth finally understood the truth. The Empire had not started a war. It had invited madness. And the madness was winning. The Empire was desperate. Fleets were broken. Stations destroyed. Soldiers terrified. Communication dead. The Galactic Council demanded action. They called for a meeting with Earth. A formal negotiation. A chance to end the nightmare. Admiral Korth and 3 other counselors boarded the Empire's fastest ship. They traveled alone through human-controlled space. Every sensor warned them. Every AI screamed danger. Still, the humans said the meeting would be safe. When the Imperial ship arrived at the coordinates, the fleet outside was gone. No ships, no defenses, only silence. The meeting chamber opened. 3 humans stood there. Not soldiers, not generals, just humans. They smiled. Too much. Their eyes were calm. Their hands relaxed. They did not speak. Admiral Korth stepped forward. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. "Why destroy fleets, stations, and ships? Why kill thousands?" One human tilted his head. "You came to our home," he said. "You expected obedience. You expected surrender." Another human stepped forward. "Do you understand what you released? You came here to conquer. We came to finish the game." The third human smiled wider. "We do not fight your way. We do not obey. We do not stop." The counselors exchanged nervous glances. They were trained for diplomacy. They had studied human behavior. They had studied every culture. Nothing prepared them for this. Admiral Korth tried reason. "We can make peace. We can stop this before it spreads." A laugh echoed through the chamber. Not loud, not threatening. Just amusement. The first human leaned closer. "Peace," he whispered. "You mean surrender? You want to sign papers so your fleets live another cycle? We are not here to negotiate. We are here because you should have left us alone." Suddenly alarms went off on the Imperial ship. Every sensor, every monitor, every system failed. The humans had done nothing visible. No weapons, no drones, no explosions. And yet the ship was dead. The counselors tried to leave. The doors did not open. The humans walked past them, calm, smiling. They touched the panels. Lights flickered. Air systems shut down. The counselors tried emergency protocols. Nothing worked. They were trapped. Then the humans spoke again. "One cycle," the first said. "Your fleets will withdraw. Your borders will collapse. Your empire will remember this day." The second human added, "You have learned too late. Do not challenge Earth again." Admiral Korth fell to his knees. Why?" he gasped. The third human shrugged. "Because you asked for war. And Earth sent the ones who cannot be controlled. The ones you fear most. And the ones you will never see coming." A final explosion rocked the ship. Not from outside. Not from weapons. From within. The counselors vanished. No trace remained. The humans walked away. No one chased. No one fired. They left the coordinates. And the galaxy remembered. No planet, no council, no fleet ever again forced Earth to surrender. Not one dared. The humans had not fought for territory. They had not fought for glory. They had fought because the Empire had challenged them. And in their fighting, they became something greater than fear itself. The Empire broke that day, not because humans conquered, but because humans did what the Empire could never imagine. They fought like humans, and won like gods. The galaxy had changed forever. The Empire's fleets were scattered. Their borders were collapsing. Stations floated empty in space. Soldiers whispered of humans in fear. Earth said nothing. Years passed. Planets rebuilt. Some tried to form alliances. Some tried to strike at Earth. All failed, because no one understood humans. No one could. Reports came in, always the same. A fleet would enter a sector. They would find nothing. Then silently humans would strike. Ships would vanish. Stations would explode. Communication networks would die. And sometimes nothing at all would remain. The galaxy began to speak in whispers. Do not force humans. Never demand obedience. Do not make them fight. Every empire, every council, every fleet learned the same lesson. Humans were not like other species. They did not fight for honor. They did not fight for glory. They fought because they could. Because they were terrifying. Because Earth had sent them. And Earth always watched. No planet could ever challenge it. No fleet could ever threaten it. No council could ever demand submission. Humans were freedom incarnate. And freedom, when pushed, could not be stopped. The Empire never forgot the 3 humans who had ended the war. Their faces were whispered in every council chamber. Their smiles haunted soldiers' dreams. Their laughter echoed in empty command rooms. Every attack after that was small. Every human strike was precise. Not for conquest, not for gain. They struck because they existed. Galactic historians later called it the human doctrine. Do not force humans to fight. If you do, they will send the ones you fear the most. They will fight alone. They will break every law you understand. And they will win. Earth remained silent. No boast. No warning. Just calm. Just patience. And the galaxy learned its final truth. Humans were not the soldiers they expected. Humans were the chaos they had ignored. Humans were the madness that conquered empires. Humans were the storm no one could control. In deep space, where fleets once ruled, where stars had been borders, a single human ship floated. A lone pilot stared at the stars, calm, smiling, waiting, because the galaxy had forgotten one truth. The humans Earth sent were not the best. They were the ones who did not stop. And if another empire ever tried to challenge Earth, they would come again. No warnings, no mercy, no survivors, just humans, and the universe would never forget.